Good evening. The High Court in Pretoria has ruled that Nicholas Ninow must serve a jail term of life plus 5 years for raping a 7-year-old girl in the toilet of a restaurant in Pretoria. The life sentence is for the assault and rape. He will also serve time for the possession of drugs. Ninow had told the court he had been introduced to drugs by his mother when he was just 13, but the judge said today he's not shown remorse for his actions. Ofentse Setimo is one of our reporters who was in court for us today. Ofentse, good evening to you. What did the judge have to say in handing down sentence?
Thank you very much, Stephen, and good evening to your viewers. Well, basically, the judge was very elaborate as to the upbringing of Nicholas Ninow, actually describing him as a broken person, saying that, his upbringing was quite broken, as you mentioned in your intro, saying that he was introduced to drugs at quite a young age, and that he was actually sexually molested by one of the family friends when he was still 4 years. And during his life, he's been admitted in and out of, places where drug addicts actually go just so that they can be rehabilitated. So it has been a hard upbringing for Nicholas Ninow. But he also mentioned that despite that, Nicholas Ninow admitted to even using drugs, even after he was incarcerated, despite the fact that he attributed his actions, that is the rape of a 7-year-old, to the influence of the drugs, saying that he also waited almost 13 months before he could script a letter and a poem where he apologized to the victim's family and to the victim, saying that it doesn't really show a genuine remorse, saying rather it was an attempt to evade a life imprisonment.
How did Ninow react? I mean, he would have just heard what's going to happen for possibly the next 25 years of his life, more than that maybe. How did he react as the judgment was handed down?
Well, as the judge was actually issuing the sentence, you could see all the camera operators in the courtroom actually focusing on Ninow to actually capture, that money picture where either he's going to frown or he's going to, be hysterical. But he was stone-faced, like someone who's playing poker. He didn't show any emotions at all. But a contrast behind him was the EFF, ANC supporters, and the hashtag Not In My Name members, who were jubilant in court, and they were just could not hold back their excitement.
So you're saying there was quite a big reaction in court as this was handed down?
Absolutely. I mean, the court orderlies also had their hands full trying to contain the crowd.
Okay, the judge talking about Nicholas Ninow's future prospects in rehabilitation, what did she say about that?
Well, he said that he's unsure as to whether Nicholas Ninow is able to be rehabilitated. Like, as I mentioned, he's gone to rehabilitation centers 5 times. And there was a point where, when he was doing matric, where he turned a new leaf on life, where he avoided the drugs and he matriculated and he was committed to the gym. This is according to his grandmother, who was testifying in mitigation of the sentence, saying that, he's not just a dross rapist, but he played rugby, and he was someone who was getting his life together until he had a relapse, and then the drugs actually led to him committing the crime.
What do we know about his early life? What's come through in the last few days in court?
Well, we know that he's had a really difficult upbringing. They considered that he has been abused. He was introduced to drugs at a young age by his mother, who only conceived him when she was only 15. So the relationship between him and the mother was that of, peers almost, where they would actually go drinking all night. And then there was a point where apparently Ninow, when he was introduced to Cat, he was too drunk, and the mother felt that for him to regain sobriety, they had to sort of give him Cat. So that's the type of lifestyle. It was really a broken upbringing, if I may put it that way.
Ofentse Setimo, thanks very much indeed. Really do appreciate it. Our reporter, part of our team in the High Court in Pretoria today.